Hi, this is Zubin Vevaina from A to Z Graphology. Welcome to today's video, and before I start off, I would like to thank you all for your valuable suggestions, your queries and your points of view. It has really helped me refine the way how I'm supposed to help you understand the science of graphology and how we can understand the human being better. Just like psychology and the study of body language, handwriting analysis also is a technique through which you can understand the person in a slightly more deeper way. As we go through the letters and as we go through the different factors of graphology, you will come to know that we are just a mirror and we are going to express what we know as a form of a reflection. The handwriting is a reflection of us being captured at a moment. What I wrote just now is a reflection of my mindset today. Yes, it does reflect certain parts of my mindset which have been since many years or which will affect me in the future. But what I am right now will be seen in the formation today. So, graphology is a very present tense based science. It's going to talk to you about your mindset today. So this is not about fortune telling, and I'm not going to predict something for you in the future. My main criteria for you is that if you understand your potential today, you can come to know how you can perform better tomorrow. If you're planning a career, if you're getting into a relationship, if you're going through an academic difficulty, if you want to know how your future is going to be, rather than letting somebody else predict the future for you, why not help create it yourself? The videos which I have been launching since the last couple of days and last couple of months and in the future are all designed to help you take care of your future yourself. The power of dealing with the present in your own hands, in your own mindset, is a superb life skill that I would really want you to have so that you can take care of yourself and stop giving excuses. Your true potential is waiting to be unlocked. Let's jump on to this video and see what letter J means today. So now we're going to focus on the letter J and what it means in the handwriting. In the previous video I had taught you about the letter I. The letter J is an extension of letter I and it goes into the lower zone. The middle zone, which is this part of the handwriting, represents present tense thought processes. Whatever you do in your daily life that does not require too much thinking or too much planning, that can be said as a middle zone activity. For example, while you're having a bath or you're eating food, you're brushing your teeth, you're wearing your clothes, you're brushing your hair, all these daily activities that you have got into a habit and it doesn't require too much of activity, but it is important for daily life, that can be seen in the middle zone. The lower zone deals with all these activities which have a physical aspect to them, a monetary aspect to them, and yes, it also deals with certain past related thoughts. The I letter represented spontaneous taking. The J also represents that, but now the flavor of this thought or the slight manipulation of this thought is related to taking, but in terms of physical or monetary gain. A couple of videos before, we had studied about the letter G, and the letter G represented money and physicality spent at home. The G was written somewhat like this. So we had studied about letter A, which represents home. We attached the letter J to letter A and we got the letter G. So the letter G represented home, money and physicality. Now this A structure is not coming in J. So this represents pure ability to take and only represents that part of the activity or that part of human life that represents self-sustenance at a physical level, at a monetary level. This represented self-sustenance for daily activities, but this represents more at a physical level. The letter I was for taking and J is for taking with physical and monetary point of view. The letter J represents money, physicality for the self. G represented that same thing for the home. J represented the same thing for the self. A couple of videos later, we'll be studying about the letter Y and we'll see how a person spends money and thinks about his physicality in the social environment. There are different formations of letter J and let's go to them. There's one J letter which looks just like that. A person just draws a line straight downwards, doesn't write too much in terms of curves or no coming back stroke. Let's just write a word so that you can get the zones correct. A person writing J just like a line. Some people write J by going upwards. I have actually seen some people writing a J like this. A very rare case where the person writes upwards. This letter J represents taking of middle zone and lower zone activities for the self, but in a very rude and rather crude manner. Middle zone activities that represents food, clothing, and daily activities, and lower zone representing physicality and money. That is seen in the letter J. Now, the lack of curvature here, like as it's seen over here, the lack of curvature means that the person may not be too polite or his mannerisms may not be really strong when he's supposed to take something for himself. When a person writes a J which has a smooth curvature like this, it shows that he is taking things for himself, but he is not being necessarily rude. When you're buying a movie ticket for your family and for yourself, this person would buy movie tickets for everybody while he's buying tickets for himself, and he will think about their seating positions a little better compared to this. This person, he'll buy the movie tickets for himself first, he'll choose his seat first, and preferably want to do his setting first before he helps somebody else. Yes, it does look selfish, but it depends on the society or the culture in which you live in. If you have too many selfish people around you and they take advantage of you, this J could actually be an advantage where you're quietly getting your work done and you're carrying on with your life. If you're living in a society or a culture that is helpful and kind and giving and very warm, then this sort of a letter structure actually comes up in the handwriting, which shows that the person is cultured even when he deserves to take something for himself. This letter J has a loop which shows that the person takes but has a desire to give back. He takes and has a desire to give back. Now, if this J letter formation comes as a connection to the next letter, let's say if I write the word joy. Do you see this stroke which has come upwards is used for connecting to the next letter? So that time this actually shows that the giving process, the taking and the giving process was in good harmony and was actually required. However, if you see this letter Y, or let's take another example. If I write the word Taj, any letter formation that comes up and there's no letter to connect after it shows that this now has become more of a formality or a compulsion. If you had something for yourself and you've taken something which you want for your own self and there's no requirement to give back to the society or give back anything to somebody, then the person can leave the stroke down. Let's say, for example, you bought a t shirt for yourself. Now, just because you bought a t shirt for yourself does not mean that you have to go back to the shop and say thank you every time that complimenting the quality of the t-shirt. Yes, once in a while to go back to the shop and say thank you for giving me a good quality t-shirt, or if you had a really good meal and it made you feel physically strong and you felt your money's worth was there. When you go back to the restaurant and you give back the compliment, then once in a while it's fine. But every time if you make this stroke going upwards, then it becomes slightly monotonous and it makes the person look fake. So when you're not having a letter after the letter J or the G or the Y, you can leave it down so that it doesn't have this extra stroke, and it can actually save your mindset from pointless thought processes which happen after the activity is over. So this last J is representing that formation that goes upwards. Here it is going from the lower zone up to the middle zone. In the normal letter formations that we have seen, the person goes from up to down, from up to down. This means that he is taking for the self. But in this formation, the person has a preference to give rather than to take. If he has something of his own, he would like to give it away. If you find this in an old person or if you find this in a philanthropist, then this shows that the person is wanting to give what he has for himself. Let's say if this person has an antique clock or he has a old house which he wants to give away to his relatives or his friend. So this giving aspect is seen in the letter J formation, which goes from down to up. Now remember, this formation comes very rarely, and if you see it, it shows that the person is slightly in a generous mood, and instead of taking what he should for himself, he is ready to give it away. So we've studied about the letter J today, and we've come to know that it's going to tell us about a mindset that deals with taking. This J is representing taking with politeness. This J represents taking with a bit of crude behavior or very direct nature. And this is where the person is having a taking activity but he is brooding about it or having a post thought. In a connection, this post thought does not harm the person but it actually helps him to carry on with further activities. If I'm going to a restaurant and if I'm having my family along with me or my friends along with me, the letter J in my handwriting, if it looks like this, then it shows that I'm ready to eat the food myself first and I don't really bother about other people, about what they're eating, or should I serve them first or should I wait for everybody to start. I'm just going to pick up the food and eat. This is normally seen in a situation where I would be eating my food because it is representing taking for the self, but I will also be considerate, I'll be polite, I'll be generous while I'm eating. So I won't just hog all the food which I've got into my plate. I won't mind sharing it. I won't mind waiting for people to start. I'll serve them before I eat myself. So this curvature gives that effect of cultured behavior. In this J, after eating my food, I will be probably thinking about the taste and how the service was really good or the ambience of the restaurant was really nice. So there are post thoughts. Then this letter formation which comes, it looks same but it comes as a connection to the next letter. It helps me to carry on with my self taking process and not brood about it. One very strange coincidence or happening, I don't know if you have noticed it, but the letter J comes very rarely in the English language. Whenever you write a sample for yourself or you see a paragraph or you see a book, the letter J comes very rarely. This also shows that the opportunities to take for the self also comes rarely. The weirdness of this is quite strange, and I find it very, what can you say, very intriguing that a language can teach us how to behave. The letter G and the letter Y come more number of times in the handwriting compared to letter J. So this shows that the opportunities of a thought process that deals with home finances and home physical activities, social physical activities or social finances are more compared to self physical and monetary activities. So this was a bit of intriguing factor of the letter J. Look into your handwriting and see what it shows up whenever you write the letter J. Okay, so thank you for watching this video about the letter J, and I hope you learned something about how a thought can be represented in the handwriting. The thought that represents taking for the self is seen in this letter J. If I bought this pen for myself, for my personal use, I physically spent my time, my energy to buy this pen, and I wanted to spend money for this pen for myself, it is seen in the letter J. If I bought this pen for home activities or for something related to home, then it will be seen in the letter G. If I bought this pen to be used in a social environment, something somewhere where I'm not familiar, then that will be seen in the letter Y. A couple of videos later, I will be explaining the Y in detail. So please watch out for that video, and then you can combine the letter G, J and Y and have a slightly better understanding of how you can manage your finances and your physical energy better. Are you more generous at home? Are you willing to be a little selfish with in social environment? What happens when the person spends for himself? And the intriguing factor of the J coming rarely in the handwriting is also an important lesson for us that yes, we should spend for ourselves, but not too much. It would make us look a bit selfish, and yes, there's abundance in nature, but abundance and selfishness don't go hand in hand. So thank you for watching this video. Do comment your queries and questions. If you liked what you watched, do press the like button. If you want to watch these videos more and get free notifications of when I upload the next video, do subscribe. And my entire energy and my entire focus is to give you what I know in terms of handwriting analysis. And yes, this is just the letter series. We are talking about only alphabets small, and we are going to talk about capital letters. But in the future, in the near future, we are going to talk about signatures. We're going to talk about macro handwriting analysis. We're going to talk about micro handwriting analysis. It's easily going to be over 1,000 hours worth of training and videos. So do stay tuned, and thank you for watching this video.